Hello there everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. Welcome to a Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race C race review. Now we don't do too many of these on the channel these days, but given that this one's a little bit special, I thought it was definitely worth offering up you one of the best races that I've had this week at this week's Daily Race C combination of Gr4 machinery at Circuit de la Sarthe with no chicane. And why is this one so special? Well, Polyphony Digital have eventually, 10 months after the game has come to our PlayStation 5's, actually implemented dynamic random weather into a daily race. Now this is something that the game has been capable of from launch. I did a video literally in the first week of the game coming out, sort of demonstrating how the weather could be completely different even though it was set up with the same kind of conditions. There was a kind of variability, a random element to the way the weather worked. And at the time I gave my thoughts on how I thought this would be the game changer, this would be the big thing to differentiate Gran Turismo 7 from GT Sport, but it just never happened. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of us thought it wasn't going to happen, but eventually, as I said, 10 months after the game came out, they have eventually implemented this feature into the game. And hopefully in this race I can demonstrate to you why so many people were asking for it and wanted it, and you know, just the game changing element that this can bring to the slightly longer races in Gran Turismo 7. Now don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people are not huge fans of wet weather. I think there's as many people out there who want the dynamic weather as who don't want it, and I get that, but I must say I'm in the camp of wanting the dynamic weather into the races. And as I said, hopefully this race will kind of just demonstrate to you why it's such an important feature, and why hopefully going forward Polyphony Digital want to do this a little bit more often. So anyway, race is underway. We're on lap 2 here. We're in the Toyota Supra from Gr4. We started at the back. We see the Tonic there, who's Apex Twin, good friend of the channel, having a little bit of a head-to-head with the Danish driver. I don't know if there was some beef there in the past. It was like the Danish driver had a little bit of an issue with Tonic. But yeah, we've made a good positive start here up into P9. We've got a litany of penalties up ahead of us, and as they serve these penalties, I think there's 3 of them. There we go, 3 ghosted cars. We go through the middle. We have made our way up into P6, so I can't exactly grumble as into how this one has worked out so far. Now, yeah, good start to the race, but things were about to start getting a little bit dodgy. So we'll jump forward here to lap 3. We're on the Mulsanne straight. We're in the slipstream of a Bugatti Veyron in front. Now we're a little bit far behind. The Veyron is very fast down the straight, and we're kind of slowly getting dropped by the Italian now. We were 1.7 seconds ahead of the group of cars behind us coming onto this straight, but it's so long and they're bump drafting and slipstreaming all the way down. As we come into the braking zone at Mulsanne corner, they have caught us, and the Danish driver, who we've seen getting involved in a little bit of argy-bargy with Tonic, makes a pretty clumsy, careless move down the inside into Mulsanne and sort of half T-bones us now. Not too much damage done in the grand scheme of things. We maintain the position that we were in P6, but we do have a pretty nasty looking angry mob behind us in our slipstream. So got max power there in the Jaguar. Kudos to got max power in that Jaguar. It's definitely not the best car around here. Doesn't have the straight line speed, but he was pulling off some very, very, very good results in it. We're trying to give Max the slipstream there. So come down into, I can't remember what it's called, Indianapolis this corner's called. This is where it's all going to go wrong. We get a tap from behind, spears us off into the barrier. Now at the time I thought that was my Danish friend once again, but it was actually a Dutch driver in a Bugatti Veyron. And yeah, we've lost a whole lot of time there. Down in P13, all 4 corners of the car are damaged, and yeah, race was pretty much over. So coming to the end of lap 4 here, I was just kind of trying to think of all the kind of insults I was going to start throwing at people in the chat after, you know, letting your braking points, get a bit of discipline, why do you all drive so stupid, etc, etc, etc. When I noticed a car had gone into the pits, the Hungarian driver had gone into the pits, I was like, why is he going into the pits? So I put the weather map on, which you can see down in the bottom right hand corner, and I went, oh, that's the rain coming, and that looks like some reasonably heavy rain in there. The blue sections of that are going to be quite heavy, and that looks like it's going to come on for a little bit of time as well. That's going to have a bit of an impact on the track. Now you can see in the bottom left hand corner you've got the track wetness indicator. Now that's divided into 3. If you're new to the game, basically if it's underneath the first line you're okay on dry tyres. The middle section means you're probably better off at intermediates. Everything that goes above sort of 2/3 of the way up, then you're going to endanger aquaplaning. on the intermediates and you should be on the wet tyres. So at the moment there's a little bit of a reduction in grip, but you can still survive with the soft tyres. But you can see that line is creeping up more and more and more, and actually quite fast as we go on to the Mulsanne straight. And yeah, this lap is just going to show you why, the dynamic weather, the randomness of it is such a game changer for the game. Because we're down in P12 here when that happened. Thought my race was over, didn't even really think about looking at the weather map. Noticed that car go into the pits and then went, seen an opportunity for something to maybe happen, because very soon on this track, and certainly for the second part of the lap, I could see pretty much that this track was going to be beyond the grip of the slicks, and it's going to be all about being careful, all about trying to survive around that second half of the lap. And pretty much from this point, 22 seconds behind the leader, anything could happen. So we're bump drafting this Mustang down the straight at the moment, and the Mustang doesn't have great top end, so it's not the best car for the Mulsanne straight. So we've bumped a shed, down the straight. So far we decide we're going to go for the overtaking. Not surprisingly, we see the yellow flags are out into Mulsanne corner. Now the track is pretty damp now, we brake nice and early, but not quite early enough, and we're going to slide off here. We can see the Italian off the track, we don't manage to get it stopped. Into the gravel we go. This was quite annoying actually, because if this hadn't happened, we could have really kind of turned a P12 into quite a very decent result. So you can see other cars were off as well. Fatal Vasca recovering from a spin. So definitely drivers now starting to struggle big time, and we've got probably the worst part of the track to go as well for slippy conditions. So anything was possible, particularly coming up into this corner here in Indianapolis. It's a tricky braking zone even in the dry, so braking nice and early. The yellow flags are out, you can see the cars up ahead. There's cars all over the place. The Bugatti Veyron, the Italian's going off for a second time. Vasca's off. The Danish driver that kind of hit me a couple of times, or certainly hit me once and I thought it hit me for the second time, is off. The yellow flag's out again. There's cars off up here. We're just taking it nice and easy. I'm not going to lie, at this point I actually felt a bit like Senna or Schumacher. These sort of amazing drivers on slick tyres on wet tracks who kind of just seem to find the grip. And I just felt, at this point, I seem to have the grip around the track here. I seem to be able to read the conditions and keep the car on the track, and all my fellow competitors around me are struggling. What more could actually happen? How many more positions could we possibly make up? So coming into the Porsche curves now, very easy to run wide here. The Ferrari up ahead looks like they've kept it together. We've got another car off the track here. The Finnish driver recovering in the Veyron. We're going to go up the inside of this driver. There we go, up into P7. They kind of keep their nose in a little bit though, which is a little bit annoying. It meant I had to go a little bit wider through this part of the Porsche curves than intended. The Ferrari's off the track. Can we get a run on the Ferrari? Take a P6. Turn a P12 into a P6 would be not too bad a result. We're going to go up the inside here, but there's a little bit of a kink in the track, and I had to lift off the throttle. I never lifted off the throttle. We hit the Ferrari there and possibly spin them out, but the drama wasn't over yet. Coming into the chicanes here, Fatal Vasca goes for maybe more ambition than skill. He's all over the place, he's out of control. He hits the Ferrari off the track. The Ferrari's off the track. We're going to get a run. Will we claim that P6 in the end? We go to the the right hand side, but no, it was to be a P Womble. But from P12 starting the last lap, a P7 felt a little bit like a win. So there you go folks, that is the impact that dynamic weather, the random weather, glorious unpredictability. I've done a good number of races of this track so far this week, and yeah, a lot of them, around about 80% of them, honestly, it's just dry weather or negligible amounts of rain. It's only the odd occasion, it's only that kind of 1 in every 7, maybe 1 in every 10 races where you get like a real impact of the weather coming in, which is kind of the way you want it. You don't want it to be every single race or every other race. It would kind of lose its magic, I think, if it was to happen that way. So yeah, it's been a brilliant week so far. We're only on Tuesday here as I'm putting this video together. We did a lot of racing on Monday, we did a live stream on Tuesday morning, and yeah, as I said, it just makes the race so much more interesting. We just have that element that something could just flip the race upside down, and yeah, hopefully PD will kind of hear that enthusiasm and make this happen more often. Doesn't have to happen every week, to be honest with you, you know, but, you know, just maybe once every month or once every 3 weeks, just have this kind of dynamic element, this unpredictability to the race. And I think the people who have been looking for it will be happy, you know, because sometimes, you know, we just want a dry race, you just want a predictable race, but, you know, use what we've got, use what PD's got there. You've got a very nice weather system, and we can see from this week that it can be, doesn't have to be canned effects or canned weather. It can be quite unpredictable, quite random, and quite dynamic. But hopefully you've enjoyed that race from a spectacle point of view. I really enjoyed racing it. Thank you very much for watching. If you have up to this point, I'll leave you with the post-race chat. Me, Got Max Power, and Apex Twin, which is Tonic. A couple of good friends of the channel. We're kind of just, you know, getting all excited and saying how much we'd just loved the race that happened. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed racing it. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're not subscribed, only if you think the video deserves it. And I shall catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.